Okay, cool. So essentially this exercise has 4 parts to it. You got your quarter notes, you got your eighth notes, you got your triplets, and you got your 16th notes. So essentially what the analogy I use is a cheesecake, right? You guys ever seen those like cheesecake samplers? I'm sure I use this analogy in class, so bear with me. You ever see those cheesecakes? It's like a bunch of different, it's like Oreo and carrot and original and raspberry, and it's just like a sampler of all the different kinds of cheesecakes. So what you want to do is not mix the cheesecakes, right? They're all meant to be enjoyed individually, and they're all delicious individually. It's the same thing for this exercise. You don't want to mix your quarter notes with your eighth notes. You don't want to mix your eighth notes with your triplets. You don't want to mix your triplets with 16th notes, right? You want to keep them all separate as if you've been playing them all the way throughout the exercise without changing. What I mean by that is we don't want to morph our eighth note into our triplet like this. It can get quite confusing fast, so we have to make sure that we have a dial and that we're either eighth notes or we're triplets or we're 16th notes or we're quarter notes on this side, and we're not mixing them, right? It's all just individual patterns put together side by side, but they're not mixing at all. Another thing that you want to worry about is the sticking, right? So in the first part, in letter A, we have do you see how it switched to a left-hand dominant part rather than a right-hand dominant part? I haven't written stickings in for a reason. I want you guys to get used to reading natural sticking. So what you want to do is make sure you start on that left-hand part right in that spot and recognize that the rhythms don't change even if your dominant hand changes. The other thing is staying consistent and present within the exercise. So if you notice through my playthrough, I may have ticked a few things. And it's because I even struggle with this exercise a little bit. It's a tough one for sure. The second you lose focus, that's the second you tick and you break. So you want to make sure you maintain focus and know which pattern you're on all the way throughout this exercise. And that's what makes it cool. You're warming up your brain and your hands at the same time. Lastly, there's an accent tap ending. Right? Something of that sort. I don't have the music in front of me. Make sure that you play accent tap. Right? Want to make sure that we stay using the other exercises that we've already completed, staying within that mindset. Cool? And that's pretty much the key to it. Just make sure you don't morph rhythms within each other. Stay eighth note, stay quarter note, stay triplet, stay 16th note. Don't have them mix at all. Make sure it's one or the other. It can only be one or the other. Keep working on this. This was at 105. It was a little slow, so you can keep pushing tempo on this, but you gotta make sure that nothing mixes. None of the rhythms mix. Awesome job. Keep practicing. Let me know if you need help with this. Good job. And this is like a tag for Classical Academy 2020 indoor. This was the last video. So congrats, you made it. Great job. And see you at tryouts and stuff like that. Okay, bye.